Hey everyone, it's Fentoni. In this video I want to talk about a theory that Bran Stark has a plan. He's up to something pretty big. So there's no question that Bran's an important character. He is the Three-Eyed Raven now. He's not really Bran Stark anymore. It's a bit complicated, but basically he can't register emotions now. He's seen far too much through too many eyes. He's basically a hard drive of potentially unlimited knowledge. He's an incredibly powerful green seer, able to walk into a human such as Hodor, and of course Bran has incredibly important visions. He can view visions of the past and potential future. He can potentially see anything in history, and even though the future is a bit tricky, it's not 100% guaranteed to happen, he can potentially see the future, or a potential future, or at least glimpses into it. But if we go back to season 7, Bran did tell Sansa that he needs to see better before the long night comes. In season 6 and 7 he was able to learn the truth about Jon's parentage, but he actually needed help from Samwell Tarly to find out that Rhaegar and Lyanna were actually married, and that Jon was not a bastard, he was a legitimate son. He's probably spent a lot of time off screen in visions in the past as well. He's probably seen a lot more. In the first episode of season 8, it definitely seems like he's up to something. Guys, he's always there whenever something big happens. Such as when Jaime arrives at Winterfell at the very end of the episode. It felt like Bran was just waiting for him. Or when Sansa told Tyrion that he was stupid for trusting Cersei, Bran was there watching him. I don't know if Bran knows about Cersei's betrayal yet. Sansa is very confident that Cersei's not going to send troops up north. Maybe after Sansa and Tyrion's conversation, Bran goes back and checks on Tyrion. He goes back to the Dragon Pit and sees exactly what happened. Because there's lots of theories that something's going on there. Perhaps some sort of pact to save Cersei and her unborn child. Because even though Tyrion doesn't really trust Cersei, he fears her and kind of hates her, he would still love her unborn child. But it's obvious that Cersei is using that against Tyrion, and it's going to blow up in his face eventually. Bran was also there when Sam left the library after learning from Daenerys that she executed his father and brother. It seems to me that Bran was waiting for Sam to be at his lowest moment before asking him to tell Jon Snow about his parentage. Did he want Bran to be upset and angry with Daenerys after learning that she executed his father and brother? Did he want Sam to tell Jon that he's the rightful king and maybe to suggest that he'd be a better ruler than Daenerys? If so, Bran is playing a dangerous game and it could cause major issues with Jon and Dany. Jon and Dany need to be on the same page when the Night King comes to Winterfell and maybe beyond. Because I don't actually think the Night King is going to be defeated at Winterfell. I think Winterfell falls and the battle moves down south to King's Landing. Honestly, I'm not too keen on Bran wanting to remove Daenerys and make Jon Snow the king. It kind of devalues her character. Her and Jon have always been set up as the big two, but it is almost impossible to deny there's issues with Daenerys. She needs to stop shouting at everyone, bend the knee, and burning people. Jon did tell Sansa that Daenerys is not her father, but Dany needs to be extremely careful. I think she does have a good heart, but she does have a fiery temper, and one wrong move could make people see her as the Mad Queen. So is Bran manipulating the situation to make Jon king? But why? Does he know something? Perhaps does he believe that Jon needs to be king and lead against the Night King? It seems to me the previous Three-Eyed Raven brought Bran to the Tower of Joy for a reason. It was an important vision that Bran had to learn. He wanted him to learn the truth about Jon Snow so he could reveal it to him one day, and perhaps make him king. Or maybe he believed that Jon Snow is the prince that was promised, and Bran would have to find this out. The prince that is promised is a very tricky prophecy. The show's kinda dumbed it down a bit or not mentioned it that much. Melisandre did mention it. She believes Stannis was that, but now she believes it's Jon. Melisandre will definitely be back at some point. It's going to be interesting to see her interactions with Bran. And if you want to think about this for a minute, Bran spent a lot of time in front of the fireplace. Perhaps he's actually seeing visions in the flames, or maybe the one sending them out. There's no question that Bran is incredibly important, but I think it's more than just trying to make Jon Snow king. It just has to be. Bran saw the creation of the Night King, he has to see more. He has to see what happened next, why the Night King turned on the Children of the Forest, and how was the Night King stopped thousands of years ago. It seems like the Night King was pushed back thousands of years ago in the first Long Night, but never defeated. So why is he back now? What does he want? The actor who plays the Night King, Vladimir Furdik, did say the Night King has a target, and he wants to kill that target. Bran makes sense as the target, because you could say he's some sort of rival to the Night King. They share very similar powers in my opinion, and he could be a threat. I think the Night King is a green seer, or he's something very, very similar. He's either gained these powers by becoming the Night King, or he had them and that's why the children chose him. I think the Night King's been watching everything play out from the beginning. I would love to see old scenes edited with the Night King added in. He was watching Bran's fall, Daenerys' dragons being born, Jon Snow's death and resurrection. He's been watching it all. He knows everything. I can just see it now. The Night King walks into the God's Wood of Winterfell and he touches the weirwood tree and his eyes turn white. Confirmed green seer. Obviously Bran's not going to be fighting at Winterfell in episode 3, that's ridiculous, but he could be in the Godswood using his powers to help out. He has to have more visions. He needs to learn the secret of the Night King and how to defeat him. I think he has the potential to learn this, but he needs help, and I think Sam's got that help in the books. The books that Sam took from the Citadel could be very crucial. They might contain clues that could help Bran learn the truth about the Night King and how to defeat him, such as a date or a name or something, or even a story of the Night King in the first long night. I don't think the Night King's defeated by stabbing him with dragonglass or Valyrian steel. I think that's far too easy. I think only magic can defeat the Night King, and Bran's crucial. We just don't know how yet. Maybe he doesn't even know yet. It seems like he thinks Jon Snow needs to be king, but to what end? How does that help defeat the Night King? You could say that Jon would be a good leader and the people would get behind him, but there has to be more to it than that. But in the comments below, let me know what you think about Bran wanting to make Jon king and pushing out Daenerys, and Bran's overall importance. Honestly, I can't wait for Bran and the Night King to meet again, in the Weirwood Network and in real life. I'm actually worried for Bran. I think he might die, either being killed by the Night King or by using his powers too much. That might not count as a death, he might actually become part of the Weirwood Network itself, very similar to the old Frey Raven, he became part of the Weirwood tree, or maybe even a face in the tree. Honestly, I just don't see Bran making it to the end. It seems like his sole purpose is to end the Long Night and defeat the Night King. I don't see Bran in a world of peace and harmony. But of course, it's Game of Thrones, anything can happen. So if you guys have got any requests for videos, just let me know. I made a video on the episode 2 trailer, so go and check that out. And also check out my review for episode 1. I'll leave them links down below. So as always, remember to leave your thoughts in the comments and then subscribe and like the video. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.